Hello, good morning. In this video, the next unit PLSQL, that means Programming Language Structured Query Language. In this unit, we are going to discuss the below topics: introduction of PLSQL, shortcomings of SQL, structure of PLSQL, PLSQL language elements, and PLSQL data types. Okay, so what is PLSQL? PLSQL is nothing but a procedural language, structured query language. Okay, actually it's a combination of SQL along with the procedural programming features of programming language. Okay, and already we know that SQL, PLSQL is the extension to the SQL language, and it's completely portable, high performance and transaction processing language. Okay, that means it includes the features of query language and also the features of programming languages. Okay, what we have in SQL? In SQL, we have data processing features or data manipulating features. Okay, so those features of SQL combines with the procedural language features. Okay, so that's why PLSQL is called as an extension to the SQL. Okay, PLSQL is actually it's a fourth generation language. Okay, and it offers all the features like portability, security, data encapsulation, information hiding, like that. Okay, uh, and one more difference between the SQL and PLSQL is in SQL, the Oracle engine executes only single command at a time. Okay, so whereas in procedural language, structured query language, we used to write a block of statements in the PLSQL. Okay, so that's why in PLSQL we are able to execute a block of statements um, by making only one call to the Oracle engine. Okay, that's it helps in reducing the database overheads. This is the main important advantage in PLSQL and main difference between the SQL and PLSQL. Okay, coming to the features of PLSQL. So PLSQL is tightly integrated with SQL. Okay, it's a purely basis from comes from SQL. It's an extension to the SQL, and in SQL there are no error handling feature. Okay, but in PLSQL it has an extensive error checking handling. Okay, and also it offers newer data types than the SQL, and also it includes a wide variety of programming structures. Okay, so in SQL there are no conditional structures and there are no iterative structures. Okay, just we used to write only single statement and execute only single statement at a time. But in PLSQL, it contains the programming language features such as the control structures such as iterative control or conditional statements. Okay, and also this supports structured programming through procedures and functions. In SQL, there is no way to write to a block of statements at once, but in this PLSQL, we used to write a block of statements in the form of procedures or functions also, and purely it supports object-oriented programming. Okay, and also supports for web applications and server pages. Okay, it's a fourth generation language. Remember, girls. Coming to the discuss, now we are going to discuss the shortcomings in SQL. Okay, so in order to override these deficiencies or shortcomings in SQL, developed PLSQL. Okay, it's an extension to the SQL. Okay, so coming to first, uh, SQL statements are executed only one statement at a time. Okay, so every time in order to execute a single statement, you make a call to the Oracle engine. Okay, so that's why in order to execute each and every statement by the Oracle engine, it increases the database overheads. Okay, this is the first disadvantage. And coming to the second disadvantage, while processing the SQL statement, if any occurs, the Oracle generates its own error message. But sometimes that error message is very difficult to understand. Okay, but there is no ability if an user wants to display his own error message. The SQL does not have provision for that. Okay, so that means in SQL we are not able to display our own error messages in certain conditions. Okay, and coming to third one, SQL is not able to do the conditional query on RDBMS. This means one cannot use the conditions like if, then in the SQL statement, and also there is no looping statements. There is no support for looping statements also. Okay, that means SQL did not support for conditional checking statements and also conditional control statements and also looping control statements. Okay, okay, these are the shortcomings in SQL. In order to avoid all these deficiencies in SQL, okay, later on developed PLSQL. PLSQL means procedural language structured query language. Okay, it's a combination of SQL features plus procedural programming features. Okay, okay, so let's see now the structure of SQL. Okay, just you observe how we are writing, like every programming language has a structure. Already we know that in C, in Java, already we know that every programming language has follow a structure. Likewise, in PLSQL procedure or PLSQL block also follows one structure. Okay, just you see this structure. How many sections are there? There are 4 sections. One is declare, and next one is begin, and next one is exception, and next one is end. Okay, so inside the declare section, we used to write the declaration of variables, constants to be used in the PLSQL. And in begin section, PLSQL and SQL executable statements we have to return inside the begin block. And coming to the exception, so exception is nothing but here we are writing the PLSQL code to handle errors during execution period. Okay, already in Java we have learned thoroughly the exception handling concept. Likewise, to handle the exceptions, we use the exception block. Okay, the last statement is end. Okay, so actually PLSQL is a block structured programming, block structured language. That means every program is made up of some blocks, where each block is the smallest piece of the PLSQL code having logically related statements and declarations. Okay, so every block has some specified set of statements to do a specific task. Okay. Okay, so coming to the declaration section, first of all, we have to discuss, um, we have to get a clear idea regarding the sections and the programming structure. The first section is declaration section. So declaration section begins with the declare keyword, DECLARE, declare keyword. Okay, so in this section, we used to declare the variables and constants, functions, procedures, cursors and user defined exceptions. Okay, so whatever PLSQL objects we have we want to declare, so those declarations can be done in the declaration section. Okay, okay, actually this section is optional. If you want, if you have any if you need to create, if you need to declare any variables or any constants or cursor, program, stored procedure or stored functions, then only you can use this section, otherwise it's optional. And coming to the executable section, Okay, so executable section begins with the begin keyword begin and ends with end end. Okay, it contains a set of both SQL and PLSQL statements. Okay, in this section, especially the executional, all executional statements are enclosed are written in this section. Okay, so it's a compulsory section. It's not an optional, it's a compulsory section. And third one is exception handling section. Okay, this section, in this section starts with the keyword exception. And especially this section is used to handle the errors, okay, which occurs during the execution of the PLSQL block. Okay, so in order to handle the runtime errors, we can use exception section. Okay, so exception section, this allows the user to define his or own messages, own error messages also. Okay, uh, uh, okay, and this exception section only executes only when the error occurs. Actually, this is an optional. When you want to handling runtime errors, then you can use this section. Otherwise, you can omit. Okay, it's not compulsory. And coming to end section. So, end section specifies the end of the PLSQL block with the keyword END. Okay. Okay. So you must remember every PLSQL block must consist of at least one block, which may consist of any number of nested subblocks also. Okay, any number of subblocks also. That means in one block you can write many blocks also. Okay. Okay. So coming to PLSQL language elements. Um, Before learning every programming language, first of all, we have to know about language elements, PLSQL language elements. Okay, so what are the PLSQL language elements? So PLSQL language elements are nothing but those elements are used to develop PLSQL programming. Okay, so in order to write a PLSQL program, you have a thorough understanding of PLSQL language elements. So what are the language elements of PLSQL? Those includes character set and some of the lexical units. In that lexical units, we have delimiters, identifiers, literals, comments, and coming to variables and constants. Okay, these are called PLSQL language elements, which are used to develop a program or a sentence or an executable statement or a declaration statement, whatever statement you want to write. First of all, you have a clear idea regarding the PLSQL language statements. Coming to the character set. Okay, so what are the character set? Character set includes what are the characters and what are the symbols and what are the numbers allowed in the PLSQL programming language. Okay, so character set includes alphabets both in uppercase and lowercase from A to Z. Okay, and the numeric digits 0 to 9. Some special characters, just see so many characters are there, plus, minus, into, by, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, exclamatory mark. Okay, like a blank spaces, tabs, carriage, returns. Okay, so all those comes under the character set. Okay, so that means in PLSQL block we used to those characters from the character set. Okay, it doesn't allow other characters which are not in the character set. Okay, and coming to the lexical units. Okay, so these lexical units are also important. Lexical units are like tokens. Okay, in Java, token is a small individual unit. Uh, is called as tokens. Tokens are very important to write in statement. Like that, these lexical units are very important, and smallest unit of PLSQL programs are called as lexical units. Okay, in lexical units, the first of all delimiters. Okay, So what is delimiter? Actually, delimiter is a symbol which is composed of simple or compound symbol, okay, and it has a special meaning and special purpose to that symbol in PLSQL. Okay. Simple symbol. What is simple symbol? Simple symbol contains only one character, and while compound symbol consists of more than one character. Just see this example. See these symbols. Simple symbol delimiters consists of only one character, like plus, minus, okay, star, by, equal to, greater than, less than, percentage, like that. Okay, and coming to the compound symbols, those are composed of, consists of more than one character, not equal to. Okay, so not equal to, initialization, equal to, and exponent. Okay, and concatenation, this is for concatenation, this is for concatenation, s, this is for exponent, and this is right in the for loop. Okay. And this is for not, this is also for not. Okay, this is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, this is an initialization symbol, like that. Okay, so coming to next unit is identifiers. Okay, so what are the identifiers? Identifiers are the names of the PLSQL program items, like constants, variables, cursors, triggers, procedures, stored functions. Okay, like that. So identifier is a name which identifies the PLSQL elements. So identifier can consist of alphabets, numerals, dollar sign, underscores. Just remember this thing. Only identifiers can accept alphabets, numerals, dollar sign, and underscore. No other sign allowed as an identifier. Okay, and any other characters like hyphen, slashes, black slashes, those are illegal. Okay, those are not allowed in identifier name. Okay, and one more thing you must remember is, while writing the identifier must begin with the alphabetic letter. Okay, so optionally followed by one or more characters. So just you remember, every identifier must start with only alphabet. Of course, it contains some symbols and also it contains some numbers, but it doesn't start with the numbers and symbols. Okay, and one more restriction is the identifier can contain only more than can contain identifier cannot contain more than 30 characters. Okay, so up to 30 characters it allowed as a identifier name. Okay, coming to the literals. Okay, what is literal? So literal is nothing. Literal is a explicitly redefined character that may be a string, that may be a numeric, that may be a boolean value, like that. Okay, and which are not represented by identifier. Those are not represented by identifier. Just remember. Okay. Okay, coming to the numeric literals. So numeric literals means Uh, it's a positive number or a negative number, or signed, unsigned, and also real number. Okay, in numeric literal, of course, numeric literal, it represents, it allows only integers, either positive, negative, or signed or unsigned. Just see this: 100, 006, minus 10, 0, plus 10, like that. Real literal means what it contains: a number which may have the decimal fractional part, decimal part. Okay, so real, like 0.0, minus 19.0, 3.56219. Okay, these are real literals. And coming to the character literals, so character literals must be enclosed in between the single quotes, not in the double quotes, in the single quotes, a ampersand 5. And string literals, whatever literals, those are to be mentioned within the character and string literals are enclosed in between the single quotes. Okay, good 4th May 00. Okay, and like that. And boolean literals means true or false. Okay, so next, coming to the comments. There are two types of comments. Comments are nothing but So in order to display about the program name, author name, creation of program, date and time of the creation of program. Okay, so and also comments tells about what we are doing in that program. Okay, so those comments are single line comments or multi-line comments. Single line comments means before any statement, if you put hyphen, that will be treated as a comment. Comments are ignored by the SQL compiler, Oracle compiler. Okay, those cannot be compiled and executed. And multi-line comments, as usual in Java, multi-line comments we used to write like this: slash star star slash. Okay, so in uh, multi-line comments we used to write like this. Okay, and those comments are ignored by the Oracle compiler. Those cannot be compiled and executed. Okay, and coming to the variables and constants. So first of all, variables. Already we know that. So variable whose value can change during the execution of the program is known as variable. So variables. How next coming to the variable declaration. How we are going to declare a variable? Identifier, data type. Okay, syntax. What is the syntax? Identifier and data type. Okay, just see this example: name, age, DOB. So for name we used to data type, we use the data type varchar2, and age number of 2, DOB date. Okay, and variables can be initialized at in declare section or in executable section also. Okay, so initializing the variables. So we can initialize the variable at the time of declaration. Okay, what's the syntax for this? Identifier, data type, initialization, colon equal to is the initialization symbol. Okay, just you have to write the initialization symbol, and next you can provide the value. You must remember, if that value is of character type or string type or data type, that should be enclosed within the single quotes. Okay, you must remember. So just see this example: max number of 3 equal to, so what's the value for max? 22. And name varchar2 of 30, what's the value? Search here or college for women. Okay, so one more thing you must remember: while initializing characters data and date data or string data, you should enclose within the single quotes. Okay, okay, and initializing the variable at runtime. At runtime. Okay, just what is the syntax for this? Identifier, data type, colon equals to, ampersand substitution variable. Already we know very well what is the purpose of substitution variable. We learn in we used this substitution variable in insert command. Okay, so what is the example for this? Roll number of 4 equal to ampersand id. So in runtime it prompts like enter value for id. Okay, so constants and constants declaration. So constant means whose value is fixed and cannot change during the execution of the program. So we can also declare constants at the declare section. Okay, so just see the syntax: identifier, constant, data type equal to value. Pipe constant number of 7 comma 3. So what is the value for that? 3.143. Okay. Okay. Coming to the data types. All SQL data types are to be supported in PLSQL also. Just recollect the data types once again. First, coming to the numeric data type. So numeric data type means it allows integers and also floating point numbers. Okay, first coming to the numeric data type has two forms: One is number, precision of scale, and second one is number of precision. Okay. Here the precision is the total number of digits. Scale is the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. Okay. So scale decides how many digits after the decimal point, and precision decides the total number of digits. Okay. And coming to the number of only precision, if scale is omitted, then it only allows integer values. Okay. And coming to the character data types, so there are character data types, varchar of size. If you are using the varchar of size, it's a variable length data type. Okay. So it allows 1 to 2000 bytes of data. And coming to the varchar 2 of size, it allows 1 to 4000 bytes of data. Okay. Coming to date time. Okay, so the default format of date is DD, MY and YYYY. Okay, date, it allows 1st John 4712 BC to 31 December 99999. Okay, so timestamp. Timestamp means it's a format of DD, MY and YYYY, and also it displays the time also in the form of hours, minutes and seconds. Okay, so year means it allows minus 4712 to 9999. Okay, up to. Month means 01 to 12, day means 01 to 31, hour means 00 to 23, minute means 00 to 59, second means 00 to 59. Okay. Okay. So coming to the data types has some synonyms. We can use also synonyms for these data types. If you want to use number data type, you can use DEC, decimal, double, precision, float, integer, int, numeric, real, small int. So those are the synonyms for the number data type. And char. So instead of char, you can use also character and also string. Okay. And coming to the varchar 2. So varchar 2, you can also use varchar. Okay. And coming to large object LOZ data types, actually these data types are used to represent the large data items like text, graphic images, video clips and sound waveforms like that. Okay, those are 4 types of data types are there: binary file, B file, BLOB, binary, large object, data type, CLOB, and next NCLOB. Okay, so B file used to store large binary objects in operating system files outside the database. It's a system dependent, cannot exceed 4 gigabytes. And BLOB, okay, it supports 8 to 128 terabytes. CLOB supports 8 to 128 terabytes. And NCLOB supports 8 to 128 terabytes. Okay, if you want large volumes of data items like text, graphical images, video clips, sounds, okay, pictures like that, we can use all these data types. Okay, coming to the SQL data types or percentage type and percentage row type. Okay, so percentage type. So what is the use of percentage type attribute? So this data type provides the data type of a database column to the program variable. Okay, so what it means? Actually, you can perform operations like select, insert, delete, update through the PLSQL block. Okay, you can also retrieve the data from database tables to the program variables also. Okay, so then the program variables specifications and column specifications should be seen. Okay, so always it's very difficult to remember each column's data type and size to declare the program variable with that specifications in your program. Okay, that's why the PLSQL provides the percentage type attribute. It provides the data type of the database column to the program variable. Okay, that means just see this syntax and example, you can understand. variable name and space, you have to write the table name, dot, column name, percentage type. Okay, here I just declare number NO, it's a program variable for employee table emp dot emp number percentage type. Okay, this statement what to do. Okay, what is the purpose of this statement? This statement declares a variable NO with employee numbers columns specifications. That means whatever data type and whatever size with the employee number column. Okay, so those are allocated to, those are assigned to here the number variable. Okay, that means it declares a variable number with employee number columns data type and size of EMP table. Okay, okay. And coming to the percentage row type, this is also called as record type attribute. Okay, it represents a whole row in the table. Okay, so when you are using the percentage type variables, in employee table, how many attributes are there? 8 attributes are there. So in order to represent 8 attributes, we used to declare 8 percentage type variables. So instead of creating a variable for every column, okay, to represent the entire row in the database tables, we use percentage row type record type variable. Okay, so also called record type variable. Okay, what is the syntax? Variable name, table name, percentage, row type. Okay, just see this example. Employee, EEMP, percentage, row type. Okay, and so this statement creates a variable E, not or. Variable E represents entire row in the employee table. Okay, to represent entire record rather than creating each variable for database columns, to represent all columns, we used to declare percentage row type variable. That row type variable is called as record type variable. Okay, and to represent the columns in the table with the record type variable, then you can specify the record type variable dot column name. Okay, here for employee table, to represent entire record, here we declared the variable E. So in order to represent the columns in the employee table, we used to write E dot employee number, E dot E name, E dot sal, like that. Okay. Okay. So before going to learn how to write a program in PLSQL program, we must learn some of the things. We must know some of the things. Okay, just listen carefully. To store database tables, columns data into program variable. Okay, so whatever that program variable may be a normal variable or percentage type variable. So how do you get columns data into program variables? Okay, what's the syntax? Select column 1, column 2 and into, just used into keyword here, into variable 1, variable 2, so on, from table name, where condition. Okay, just see this syntax. Just in declare section, I used to declare one percentage type variable. Okay, just see this example. Declare name emp.ename percentage type. Okay, then name variable created with the ename columns specification in the emp table. Okay, okay. Then if you want to retrieve the employee number into this program variable name, then you used to write like this. Select ename column name into okay, begin. Select ename into name from emp where employee number equal to 7566 is. So the employee whose number is 7566, So 756 is employees e-name stored into the name variable. It's a program variable of percentage type. Okay, used to write like this to get the databases columns data into PLSQL program variable. Okay. So coming to store the database tables columns data into uh, row type row type variable. Then select star or. So if you want you can write star, otherwise you can write column list also. Okay, whatever you want you can write. So select star into record type variable here from table name where condition. Okay, just see this. Just I declare one record type variable for employee table R. Okay, R EMP percentage row type. Select star into R. Here R indicates the whole record in the employee table. That's why I used to select all columns into R record type variable from EMP where employee number equal to ampersand NO. Okay, that means it accepts the employee number in the runtime. So whatever employee number value you have given, that employee details are to be specified by the record type variable or. Okay, represents by or. Okay, so coming to the output statement in PLSQL. Before writing a PLSQL program, you should know clearly all these things. Okay, listen, patience. Okay, coming to the output statement in SQL. So the DBMS, what is the output statement here? The DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay, so what is DBMS underscore output? It's a built-in package. Okay, that package enables you to display output debugging information and send messages from PLSQL box, subprograms, packages and triggers. Okay, in that we have a put line procedure. Okay, this put line procedure in this package enables you to place the information in buffer that can be read by another trigger, procedure or package like that. Okay, so put line procedure, what's its task? This procedure enables you to place the information in the buffer. Okay, so just what is the syntax? DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. If you want to print the message, those messages to be enclosed within the single quotes. Okay, next two vertical bars. These are the concatenation symbol. Like in Java we can use plus. Okay, in Oracle we can use vertical bars, two vertical bars. Okay, then if you want to print the value in the variable, then you can write the variable name. Again, if you want to print the message, again you put the concatenation symbol, double vertical bars. Okay, then you can write the message and enclosed within the single quotes. Okay, just see this various examples of how we are printing an output. Okay, so DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Welcome to PLSQL lab. Okay, so it's a message only. In this, I want to print a message with the variable value. Okay, the sum of A and B is C. Okay, here I want to print the sum of A value and B value and also C value. Is to write like this. Just observe these three lines. Okay, and one more thing is only the put line procedure displays stores the message in the buffer only. Okay, so in order you have to display the message or output on the console from the buffer. Okay, So for that purpose, use the command set server output on. Okay. So before doing any PLSQL program, so before starting the PLSQL program, first of all, whenever you log on to the Oracle SQL environment, then you can use set space server output space on. Okay. So this command displays the messages who are in the buffer on the console. Console means monitor. Okay. Yes. So set server output command specifies whether output from the dbms underscore output message buffer is redirected to standard output. Okay. What is the standard output? Monitor. Okay. Just see this. How to create steps to create and execute a PLSQL program. Okay. First of all, type your code, type your program in the text editor like Notepad, Notepad++, or Edit+, like that, and save with the file with the .sql extension in your directory. Okay. And next, you can launch SQL star plus command from command prompt. Okay. From the directory where you created for the PLSQL file. Okay. So then type at the rate of file name at the SQL star plus command prompt to execute your program. Just see this. You have to connect Oracle by using the username and password. Then in order to display the message from the buffer to the console, set server output on. And okay, of course, first of all, let me explain another way. Okay, if you are not using a file to execute the PLSQL scripts, then simply type PLSQL code at SQL prompt. Okay, just here, just I typed PLSQL code at SQL prompt. Okay, at the end of the code, you need to press / and press enter key to execute this command. Okay, just see this. Okay, these 4 lines I used to write near SQL prompt only. So begin dbms underscore output underscore put output dot put underscore line hello world end /. Okay, so it executes the 4 lines at once by the Oracle engine and displays the message hello world, and then displays PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Okay. Oh, done. If you prepare a program by using in Notepad, then how do you execute this? Just see this. It's a sample program for displaying message, declare, message. In declare section, just I declared one variable message with the data type varchar2 of 50 equal to ampersand display message. Okay, that means I want to accept this message in runtime. Begin dbms underscore output dot put underscore line just message. Okay, so whatever message you have typed at runtime, that message will be displayed here. Okay, so first prepare the program in the Notepad and save this file with name.sql. Just I saved this file as sample.sql in the PLSQL directory in C drive. So whatever directory you want, you can store, but the program extension program should be saved with the extension .sql. Okay, so just see this. Okay, first of all, set server output on. Here the above program name is sample.sql and stored in the C drive in PLSQL directory. That's why in SQL prompt you used to write like this @ and next of all the path of the file. Okay, what is the path here? In C drive, PLSQL directory, sample.sql. Okay, then it displays a message, enter value for display message. So, welcome to PLSQL lab. Okay, so then instead of this message variable, it displays the welcome to PLSQL lab message is assigned to the message variable. Then it prints, uh, it executes the program and displays the message like welcome to PLSQL lab. Okay, so just see this syntax. It prints like PLSQL procedure successfully completed. This is a way how to execute a PLSQL block directly at command prompt at SQL command prompt or by using the notepad. Any questions? And note down all points very clearly. If you have a clear idea regarding these points, you can able to learn how to write program in PLSQL. Okay. Thank you.